Switch of South Africa in proud association with Change Cars. Change Cars is a trusted online website because they work with trusted dealers and the best insurer in South Africa, Discovery Insure. Welcome back to Switch of South Africa. I'm Nicky Nash as always, and today I have something that you guys have been waiting to see on the channel. This is the VW Amarok, the PanAmericana version here. So we're going to get the style, which is the one that's found below, and then we're going to get the Aventura, which is the top of the range of this vehicle. So this car is spec'd with this bright beige color, and honestly it looks amazing. I think this color is only exclusive to the PanAmericana. Maybe I might be wrong, so I'm open to correction for that. I don't think you can spec it in any other range of the Amarok. But speaking about the look of the car, up front you get the VW badging with the front camera here. You get the V6 badging over there, which is something I like. And then you get the IQ headlamps, and then just in between the badge and the number plate you get Amarok writing. It's something that I like about this vehicle. And the front end of the vehicle, you know, I always say looks are subjective, but I do like the look of the vehicle in front. But compared to its twin up front, very tough. So I can't say which one I prefer, but this is the look of the car. So speaking more about the load bed, I did say I'm going to speak more about this part and what I don't like about this car. But obviously, the sports bar that you get in this vehicle, this car is something I don't like with the sports bar, because this car's over R1 million and you can't get the PanAmericana with the roller shutter. If you want the roller shutter, you need to opt for the Aventura, which is 140,000 rand more. So for that, you get the roller shutter, the plastic sports bar and the roller shutter. You get bigger wheels, and that's essentially much of the difference. Is it worth it? I'll answer that in my Aventura video. But speaking about those cars, so you don't get a closed off load bed, but you get a rubberized floor load bed. It's something that I do like. Then this car has a 12-volt socket here at the back. Not too sure on the wild track if you have the 12-volt socket and the 2-point plug, but I know in the Raptor you get the 2-point plug. So I do wish, I'm paying over R1 million, I wish I could get the 2-point plug there at the back. But obviously the look of the car here where I am, you really can't see much. But lower end, when you look at the taillight of the vehicle, I like the taillight design of the car. Does the job, looks beautiful. For me, the rear end of those cars where the potty piece is, as well as the front, but the rear end, the side profile, especially this one, just looks amazing. But I've basically covered a bit about the car here at the back and what I don't like. Now hopefully the interior is something of beauty, but let's get inside. Let's cover that. Actually, quick one, before we get inside the vehicle, there's something I forgot to tell you. And I wish VW had taken that thing from Ford as well, because they've taken the engine. So somehow just take everything. So where I am to get in was a bit of a hassle, because they didn't take that one thing I wish they took. So over here, if you look at my Ranger video, any Ranger you see on the road, there's a step there to ease of access into the vehicle. But in this one, they didn't take it. Why did they remove it? They could have just taken that thing. I don't think Ford is going to complain. But yeah, that's all I have to say with regards to that. Hopefully, I won't be disappointed inside. Hopefully, they've taken a few things from Ford as well in the interior. But let's get inside. So getting into the interior of the vehicle, this is where a lot of things in terms of changes you will tell from the vehicle, obviously besides the exterior look of the car. But the interior feel of the vehicle is much better than the one that's found in the Ford Ranger. The seats as well are much more comfortable. The material used here is quite different from the one used in the Ranger. And I'll be referencing the Ranger a lot because that's what you guys want me to do, and I'll be doing that. But looking up ahead in terms of the digital instrument cluster and the touchscreen infotainment system here, you can tell that there's a bit of Ford. Obviously, the vertical screen, you can tell there's a bit of Ford. But when you go inside the touchscreen infotainment system, you can tell that VW have went the extra mile in putting in their own software inside. So things like your climate control, you don't have physical buttons. You have to faff around the infotainment system, which is something that I don't like. But you get a digital instrument cluster. The digital instrument cluster is quite different from the one that's found in the Ford. So this one is the full-size one. So currently, you only get this type of full-sized instrument cluster in the Ford Ranger Raptor. But the Wildtrak X is about to launch in a couple of weeks. That will get this instrument cluster. But enough about that. So the staging in this vehicle up ahead here at the top, quite good. You get a Harman Kardon sound system instead of the Bang & Olufsen sound system found in the Ranger. And obviously you guys are wondering which one sounds better. For me, this one sounds better. So something that I did mention that I'm actually going to speak about in my driving impressions, the fact that those cars, in terms of the center console, it doesn't look as nice or as premium as the Ford. So it's something for VW that says themselves for luxury and all of that. So I wish that they did something about that in terms of putting like your off-road screen button there, and where you switch from
too high, 4H and 4 low. It's like a rotary dial. It's not as nice as the one found in the Ford Ranger, but that's with regards to that. But otherwise, interior feel of the car, this one's much better. There's really not too much to talk about right here, but you get driver electric seats, passenger electric seats, heated seats in this vehicle for both driver and passenger. Moving on to the back, the leg room, it's a bakkie. There's not really much leg room, but the headroom is there. But I've covered quite a bit of the interior. Now let's go to my driving impressions of the vehicle and cost of ownership.
So now you guys join me inside the Volkswagen Amarok for my driving impressions of the vehicle, and as I'm speaking, Amarok. So I'm gonna cover the aspect where you guys want to know is driving dynamics. Is it different from its twin, which is the Ford Ranger? And we're gonna speak about that now. So from the onset, we speak about the suspension of the vehicle. So the vehicle handles quite well. In terms of suspension-wise, it's quite comfortable. If you've driven the Ranger before and you jump into this, you can tell that it's two different things. So VW has gone the extra step into letting you know that you're in a more luxurious product, hence the price increase is how they set themselves apart from its twin. So comfort-wise, in terms of suspension, this one is much more comfortable. It's not as firm as the Ranger, although the Ranger is also very comfortable, but this just feels a bit more comfortable. It's what I'm feeling currently, just feels a bit more comfortable. So power-wise and the engine capacity, you're looking at a 3-liter turbo diesel engine, exact engine was found in the Ford Ranger, producing 184 kilowatts and 600 newton meters of torque through a 10-speed automatic gearbox, and that for this vehicle is enough. I do not feel that you would need more. There's never been a time where I'm like, I want more power. Obviously, if you want less power in those ones, you can get the Amarok style. The Amarok style, that one comes with the 2-liter turbo diesel that produces 154 kilowatts and 500 newton meters of torque. So that's found in the Amarok style. Once you say the PanAmericana, the one I'm in right now, is V6, and then there's the top of the range. We're also going to get it in the coming month. It's the Aventura. That's also V6 only. So this vehicle, there is a difference from it and the Ranger. So I spoke about the suspension. That's the main difference. Handles quite well. The another thing is the gearbox. I'm not sure if VW has went an extra mile in making the gearbox different, but it feels different. So what I mean by that is that when you're in the Ford Ranger or any Ford new gen Ranger products, Ford products, you feel the kick of every gear, if that makes sense. So if I put my foot down, you'll feel that 1, 2, 3, 4, you know. In this one, you don't feel it as much, so it's a bit timid down. So I don't know if I'm feeling things or what, but it feels like that. So if you're like, now I'm doing pulling, you can hear it if you're not playing music that you're going to the next gear. But in the Ranger, in this one, if you play music, you won't hear that you're going to the next gear. In the Ranger, even if you play music, you won't hear it, but you'll feel it. In this one, you don't feel it, you just hear it. In the Ranger, you feel it, you don't hear it, if that makes sense. So that's something that I've picked up with this vehicle, the differences from this and the Ranger. Another thing that actually I don't like about this car is it also comes to its safety features and all of that. So the safety features, you would think that this is exactly like the Ranger, and unfortunately it is not. This one does have VW-ness. So if you've seen my VW reviews, you've noticed how I always speak about one thing is that if you're standing still and someone just passes you on your right hand side or left hand side, the systems will pick up. This does the exact same thing. Now this one, to go the extra mile, and it's something that has irritated me the whole time I've had this vehicle, is, for example, if there's a car in front of me, right, and the car pulls off, but it pulls off slowly, and I go on the power with this vehicle, especially if the auto start stop is activated and the car is switched off. When I go on the accelerator, it'll switch on. But if the car is not moving as fast as the car thinks, it'll go onto the auto brake. So it'll like apply auto brake, and at the time you still on the accelerator. So my movement will be forward, back, and then you go. So it's something I don't like. I didn't experience it once. I've experienced it over close to 10 times with this vehicle, and it's something that I do not like about this car. Something that irritates me the most in this vehicle is that auto brake it applies, and then it also applies auto brake when you're reversing. But that's also, you can find that in the Ford as well. When you're reversing, and it senses that there's something, even though there's nothing on the floor, if it senses that there's something that might hit the vehicle from the top, it will apply auto brake. So for example, if you're reversing and there's a branch of a tree that's just above the not the tailgate, but the load bed, yes, it's just above the load bed, even in the range, and those will apply the auto brake, and then you'll have to force it to reverse. So it's those certain things that I don't like about this vehicle. And then in terms of interior, I'm yet to find it. If I do find it, I'll put it up. But if not, I don't find it. So on the Ford Ranger, there's a where your settings are, or where your buttons are here in the middle.
there's a button that you press, it brings up your off-road screen, and on your off-road screen this you can switch off your traction, hill descent and all that. This vehicle does not have an off-road screen. Off-road screen in the Ranger, click the link in the description box below. You will see the off-road screen. You press it, it shows you where your hill descent is, and then it kicks up the front camera. You know, it's something that is a good thing. In those vehicles, there's no off-road screen. So if I'm driving like this, I can't just randomly kick up the front camera. I'm yet to find it. I'll try look for it and find it, but I'm yet to find it. So something that I don't like, that this vehicle doesn't have the off-road screen. But other than that, this vehicle is okay. I've loved it. Obviously, I like the bigger brother being the Ventura. And now you guys are wondering, so you've said such good things and quite a bad things about this vehicle. So which one would you go for? And that's a question I need to answer after cost of ownership, and I'll tell you which one I'd go for. But very interesting. So stick around and then let me cover that. So now time for that important question. Which one would I take between this and the Ford Ranger and cost of ownership? So cost of ownership, if you take this vehicle at its current price listed on the VW website, it's car's priced at 1,021,800 Rand. So if you take that amount and you finance it with no deposit over a period of 5 years at an interest rate of 12.25%, you're looking at paying 22,900 Rand. Factor fuel into that, at most 25,000 Rand, including the fuel. So around 2,000 Rand on full tank of this vehicle, just under that. And that's how much this car costs. Is it a lot of money? Honestly, for me and what this car doesn't have and has, it is a lot of money looking at how much the Ford Ranger is and what you can get there. So speaking about that, which one would I take between this one and its direct competitor in terms of pricing? So I'm going to put the Ford Ranger Wild Track V6 that I had on test, because it's literally just a 3,000 Rand more than this vehicle. Which one would I take? Tough. But just based on price, I'd easily go for the Ford Ranger. But if you put the vehicles right there for me and you take the price out of the equation, I'd go this one. Which one would you take? Tell me in the comments down below. I hope you guys like the content, and I'll see you in the next one.